Yo, what is going on, guys? J.Yumeko here, and today we're back with some more Endless Night. Now, last time we left off, we kind of got thrown into things. We walked into this mansion, presumably to come to a Halloween party. Next thing you know, we mysteriously fall asleep, get knocked out, and wake up in a basement, and the mansion's been ruined, essentially. So as far as we've gathered up to this point, there's some kind of curse placed on this mansion where people who, I guess, live in it or go inside of it get trapped in it. So kind of like in a time vacuum almost. So we have come across a couple people here who have been trapped here for years and years and years. But they don't seem to have aged despite the amount of time they've spent here. So a couple of things have happened that you should probably just go watch the first episode to catch up on. But yeah, I also just want to throw in there, I will be posting probably either Fata Morgana or If My Heart Had Wings tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Any ideas? Okay, so last time we tried to break the window, which ended up getting us all fucking killed. So, scream louder. Let's try that. Maybe we need to scream multiple times. Oh, maybe we need multiple screams. My bad. Yes. At least you're a smart lady. You guys. All right, darling. On 3. 1, 2. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. For my sake, please think of a better plan. Aw, but what if this works? It won't. Any ideas? Okay, offer Amelia as a sacrifice. That's the only option. Amelia, dear, tell me, why does this curse not simply kill us? Surely it knows our intentions. It can hear us speaking, and yet this horror story is sorely lacking in the death department. Lacking in the death department so far? Yes, correct. Good question. I have an idea. Care to listen? I'm all ears. You're familiar with Greek mythology, yes? Sure, I've read all the books and hear about it. Have you ever heard of the legend of Andromeda? Have you two lost your minds? What the hell is wrong with you? Relax, dear. We'll get you out of here as soon as we can. Do you think the curse will really fall for this? Get these goddamn chains off me! Where did you even find these chains in here? Oh, I have my ways. Let me go, you crazy cunt! Elise, don't you think this is a little too far? It's method acting, dear. You think the curse will fall for this if it doesn't truly feel our performance? Oh, are you a theater major? Is that why you talk like that? Talk like how, dear? Never mind. The two tie Amelia's chains to a nearby chair facing the window as she struggles to break free. They both turn around and put their hands over her eyes. Oh, over their eyes. Oh, Midnight Curse, Darlene. Here's a sincere offering from us to you. Is this really gonna work? Well, what do we have to lose? If Amy breaks free, she might kill us herself. Uh-oh. Oh, it appears like their friend has shown itself. The walls around the library erupt into an army of open eyes, numbering in the hundreds. Each eyeball twitches and rolls in its socket before focusing on the chained Amelia. Elise? Yes, dear? How did we plan on stopping the curse once it came out? Well, that's a very good question. Swarms of venomous insects erupt from each eye, coalescing into a singular plague of locusts. The nascent cloud of pestilence envelops the room, swirling around Amelia's body as she struggles helplessly in an attempt to escape. Okay, free Amelia, escape through the door, or grab the books. Let's try freeing Amelia, even though I know exactly how this is gonna end. With us dead. I'll untie her. Elise, wait! Elise scrambles, tripping over the many pages scattered all around the carpeted floor on her way to Amelia, who's been nearly swallowed whole, who's been nearly engulfed by the swarm of insects erupting from the walls like hundreds of active volcanoes. She reaches out, attempting to untie the chains binding Amelia to the chair.
Sorry, dear, just a moment. There's not enough time.
Elise's vision fills with darkness as the swarm descends upon her. She loses sight of Amelia, the chains, and all else.
Elise! Emmy!
You died? Yeah, I kind of figured that out. Okay, so we can... Okay, so we just straight up fucking sacrificed Amelia. There wasn't even like a choice. You die either way. Okay, escape through the door or grab the books. Grab the books.
Look, the books! The books! Don't forget why we're doing all this.
Lilith nods, scrambling through the piles of literature towards the cursed tombs in the corner. As if possessing a mind of its own, the swarm briefly rises away from Amelia, drifting towards Lilith as she digs through the pile.
Drat!
Elise runs to the door on the opposite side of the room. Elise places her hand near the brass knob, cool to the touch and presumably non-lethal. The curse's power is focused on the swarm after all.
Hypothesis correct. Curse, dear, I'll be departing now. You wouldn't want me to trot out of here untouched, would you?
The mass of locusts appears confused, unable to decide between stopping Elise, harassing Lilith, or murdering Amelia.
Heavens no, dear. You don't want those two inferior specimens when you have one of superior bloodline right before you, do you? Inferior specimen? Dear Curse, you were drawn to my lovely mansion for a reason, right? Surely you'd rather possess me instead of the girl who plays with rocks or the nerd with the radioactive hair.
The curse seems to agree as the locust assumed the form of a cone spear, driving towards Elise with the force of a Category 5 hurricane. Elise rolls out of the way as a torrent of bugs collides with the door, denting the wood with a loud crack before dispersing as if exploding out of a cannon. Thousands of them all fall dead on the ground as the swarm struggles to regroup. Lilith runs to Amelia, briefly dropping the piles of books to unchain her.
Lilith, this is the worst plan you could have come up with. Worst plan so far, you mean? Enough rambling, dear. Which books do we use?
I don't remember. Amelia stomps her feet in protest as she throws her head back in anguish.
I hate bugs so much. Give me something, anything. I really don't know. What are our options, Lilith?
The swarm begins to regroup, twisting like a tornado as loose pages are blown about the room, sending books flying from the shelves.
The skull, the teardrop, and one with a tree.
Which book do you open? The skull, the teardrop, or the one with the tree? I mean, we're not really working with any clues here, so I guess it would kind of just be whichever one. If I had to guess which one is the most ominous, I'm gonna guess the skull.
The one with the skull.
Oh hey, select the correct book in the library.
Okay.
Well, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, when I'm faced with that kind of option, I'm definitely going with the one that has skulls on it, okay?
Ow, it pricked me.
Hurry! Lilith cracks open the book, frantically flipping through the pages for an answer as the massive tornado swarm grows larger with each passing second.
Page 243. How do you know that?
I have a good memory. Read it out loud.
So you remembered the page number, but you didn't remember which book it was? Interesting.
Shut up and read. Lilith begins to recite a string of unintelligible noises, each more alien than the last. Clearly unsure of her pronunciation, she furrows her brow with each new syllable.
Simul-Erimis?
Lilith raises an eyebrow upon reading the last words of the spell.
Baby, you and I?
She screams as the tornado violently snaps towards her, dispersing mere inches from her face as the eyes lining the walls snap shut and disappear in an instant.
Did it work?
I think so.
Can you untie me now? Well, are the words in the book back to normal?
For now. More importantly, the goddamn bugs are gone. Amelia quickly scribbles into her notebook. I'm just taking notes on anything useful in here. We can use it as a quick reference.
So, why did that work?
I have no idea. It shouldn't have. And for the record, my hair is not radioactive.
Aha! It was all in good fun, darlings. Don't be mad. In any case, what's happened to the others who were consumed by the curse? Have we lost my dear brother for good?
The book says they're probably... Wait a minute. Amelia's gaze holds on what appears to be an especially interesting page.
What is it? What is it?
Amelia says nothing, instead scribbling into her notebook with such vigor that it looks like the pen may explode under the pressure.
Who wrote this anyway?
Elise walks around the table, tilting her head to read the fine serified font spanning the page.
The Curse of Midnight is documented as an urban legend originating sometime in the Victorian era. Urban legend? If I didn't know any better, I would wager that this is a fiction novel.
Amelia continues to scribble furiously into the notebook as Elise's eyes scan the page.
The curse is said to have originated from overwhelming negative emotions or feelings of incredible emotional distress. I'm certainly emotionally distressed. Wait, does that make the curse stronger? Because the thought of that makes me even more distressed.
Your emotional distress is distressing me. Lilith holds her head in both hands, screaming like a child.
Lilith, calm down, dear.
Lilith slumps off in a corner.
Here's probably what she's reading. A spell capable of breaking the curse's influence on a single individual, transporting them out of its reach. However, a certain device is required to cast it. Oh, there's even a photo here. An illustration, rather.
The Amaranth.
What's that? A magic wand? A staff? A stave? Whatever. If we have this, we can break the curse. It even has a name. The Amaranth? Isn't that the name of a flower? The spell was only attempted once without the Amaranth, at least according to the documents which are found among human remains. Ew, so it's gonna turn us into meat paste? That's an unexpectedly morbid thing for you to say. It's worth a try, right? It seems like a better idea than what we just did. But it sounds like we need this Amaranth or we'll end up vaporizing ourselves. I can't imagine it would be in my mansion, though.
Lilith raises an eyebrow, pointing at a page in the book.
Hey, wait a minute.
Lilith holds up a red crystal globe, its gleaming exterior shining under the moonlight.
This looks like the one in the book, doesn't it? Why do you have that? So the Amaranth has 4 pieces. The globe, the crown, the hilt, and the handle. If we have a piece, we can teleport someone out of the mansion. Each piece can only be used once, unless we assemble the whole thing. Then we can potentially end the curse forever?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear you didn't smash anyone's head in with that thing. I thought about it. Where in the world did you even hide that thing? You don't have pockets, do you?
Anyway, if this Amaranth is real, it might be the only way to get us out of here. We need to find the rest of it. For now, 1 piece should be enough to try that spell. We're getting you out of here before you get one of us killed.
Me? Well, I suppose that you don't need me. What if it vaporizes her? Well, anything's better than being stuck here. But she helped us.
It's fine. We have a piece of the Amaranth and we have the book. That's all we need, right?
I guess. Well, I'll be leaving then. Toodles, friends.
Fine. Stand still. Amelia begins to recite the incantation from the book, much more confident in her pronunciation than Lilith was a moment before. The glass globe begins to glow. Jesus, that's a tongue twister. A bright blue as it rises out of Lilith's hand.
Wow, it's working. Well, it was fun, wasn't it? I hope you have a good life, Elise. At least better than we have.
Elise hesitates upon hearing the sorrow in Lilith's voice. Amelia completes the chant, a blue circle appearing on the ground around Elise. Elise bites her lip.
What happens after this? We can't use it again?
We'll find the other pieces.
But... yeah, we'll figure it out, won't we? We always do.
Despite her cheerful optimism, Lilith's voice falters with uncertainty. Oh, we can leave or we can stay. Okay, here's my thing, though. Now, this probably has absolutely nothing to do with, like, the story, but, I mean, it's like, okay, each piece can be used once, but then combined all together, they can be used infinite number of times. So then, I guess it would make more sense to me if it was something along the lines of, all together, like, individually they can be used once, all together they can only be used one time. But then if you decide to make the one-time use out of a single part of it, then even if it's all together, it can't do anything. That's how it would make sense in my head. But hey, who knows? So are we just gonna let her go? I mean, I don't want to, in all honesty. I mean, they make a pretty good team. We're gonna stay. Septum Luminaria extinguished. The blue glow disperses from the globe, falling around Elise like shooting stars.
So pretty.
Elise looks down at the filthy marble floor, taking at the loose, torn pages that litter her formerly beautiful home. Alfred would have never allowed this. Artisan's floors caked in dirt and grime. Elise would have gotten down on hands and knees and scrubbed it herself if she needed to. I think more about character for her,
I can't leave it like this. Huh? My house.
Suspended in midair, Elise grabs Amelia's arm, pulling her into the summoning circle's sparkling embrace.
What are you? They'll suffer for doing this to my house.
Elise falls on the ground as Amelia's body rises into the air, immersing her within a bright blue light. The glow disperses in an instant as Amelia's body disappears along with the glittering stars. Okay, well, I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know that we were going to trade Amelia for Elise. I would have much rather had Amelia on our side, but hey, whatever. The globe of the amaranth falls to the ground, rolling to a stop at Lilith's feet.
Why did you do that? Now we've lost the book, too. Not to worry, dear. We still have her notes, don't we? Well, yes. But why? Because we both have business to take care of here, don't we? Business?
Elise picks up the globe, handing it to Lilith.
We both have people to save. Isn't that right? Yeah, I guess we do.
Elise looks down at the crystal globe in Lilith's hands.
And when we complete that staff, I have a mansion to avenge. How much of the book did she manage to copy down, anyway? Some background of the curse, the teleport spell we just used. Do we still have that nifty curse-stopping spell? No. Fabulous.
Outfit unlocked. Nightmare.
So tell me, Lilith, do you do your makeup every day? Makeup? I haven't used anything like that in a long time. 40 years and your makeup has had such staying power. You're not thinking... I mean, what would be so bad about being cursed here? I live here already. You're insane. Am I, dear? Am I? Only crazy people ask questions when they're told they're crazy. Ah. Well, as a matter of fact, have you even looked at yourself since then? Actually, no, I haven't. Oh my god, am I old and wrinkly?
She frantically touches her face and hair, confirming that everything is where it used to be.
No, dear, you look just fine. Other than that hair. What's wrong with my hair? You're all gray, dear. Is that the only part of you that's aged? What? No, I was born with this hair. You were born with the head of gray hair. What kind of ridiculous fantasy world do we live in? What's wrong with my hair? You have red eyes. That's totally unnatural. I've been told they're quite striking, actually. You look like an anime villain. Ugh, look, that silver certainly can't be natural. In fact, let's find you a mirror so you can see for yourself. Wait, no, don't be silly. The bathroom's right over here. Wait, stop. Why stop? Is there something wrong with...
A torrent of black water violently spews forth from the bathroom mirror, as if flowing freely from an untapped fire hydrant. Within seconds, the dark liquid fills the room completely, submerging both Elise and Lilith under its waves. Withered and decayed hands erupt from the floor, dragging Lilith out of the water and pinning her against the wall, struggling against the strength of the monster's hands restraining her. Lilith manages to free herself for a single moment.
Elise!
Reaching as far as she can, Lilith watches helplessly as Elise disappears into the raging storm of darkness. Oh, we're back here.
This is becoming far too common an occurrence. Now we understand what it's like waking up in unfamiliar places. How disgusting. I don't remember my cellar looking anything like this.
Elise looks over at the unconscious figure next to her, eyes slowly adapting to the darkness.
Well, our dear Lilith still appears to have all of her limbs intact.
Elise pushes herself up, prodding Lilith's still body with her finger.
Lilith dear, wake up. You haven't died yet, have you?
She attempts to lift Lilith up off the ground, her thin arms unable to budge Lilith's dead weight. She settles on rolling her onto her back.
My, you're much heavier than you look. It's not an insult. Not an insult. Ah, you're alive. Excellent. I do have to say, if all this curse does is knock me out with dirty water once in a while, then there are certainly worse fates. I mean, if we're being honest, I probably don't have many brain cells left to begin with. What's concussion or two?
That's a damning admission.
You didn't find that one funny? Betty. Anyway, where should we go next? Let's get this amaranth business sorted out so we can go home. Lilith, dear.
Lilith places both hands around Elise's neck, placing her in a stranglehold strong enough to lift her off the ground. Elise kicks her legs wildly, attempting to escape Lilith's grip.
Lilith, you...
Oh, okay. Try to reason with her or use lethal force. I mean, clearly this isn't the Lilith we know, so let's go ahead and use lethal force.
Well, you asked for it.
In one swift motion, Elise pulls a small silver scalpel out of her skirt pocket, rotating and driving it into Lilith's neck with surgical precision. Black blood spews from the open wound as Lilith drops Elise to the ground moments before collapsing face down on the floor. Elise gasps for breath while on her knees, slowly regaining her composure. She crawls over to Lilith's carcass, pulling the knife out and wiping it off on her formerly light-colored skirt. Before she can recover, the corpse dissolves into a bubbling mass of ichor, violently steaming and convulsing like boiling water.
For the love of...
Knife still in hand, Elise sprints up the stairs, bursting through the cellar door into the main lobby.
I can't believe someone would betray me like this. Do people have no loyalty these days? Oh, how much of that did you see? Why do you have a knife? Well, I'm a nurse, you see. A nurse who just carries a scalpel around. I like to build Gundam models. What's a Gundam? Forget it.
Without letting her guard down, Elise points her scalpel in Lilith's general direction.
Anyway, you have some explaining to do. Why are there two of you? And why is one a murderous whore? Two of me? You didn't see it, did you? I'm not opening that door again. In fact, how do I know you're not just another imposter? The curse. The curse made another of you? The curse, somehow, it knows our greatest fears, I think. Elise lowers her weapon. You're telling me your greatest fear is having two of you? Why, I would simply adore having two of me. That's not it, but I don't want to think about what that would be like. Elise scoffs indignantly. Okay, well, my guess is that her curse, her greatest fear, likely has something to do with her self-image. Just because, kind of tying in the whole scene where she's super reluctant to go look in a mirror. And then the fact that she has this other dark side of her, or like this doppelganger, this lookalike. So that'd be my... That's kind of my theory here, and I see that that's kind of how it's being set up right now. What's your greatest fear, then? Come on, tell me. I don't wanna. Come, dear, do tell. Fine, we can leave it until later. I'll simply add it to my growing list of questions. You have a list? You won't answer anything I ask you. What? I don't wanna. Did you just wad me? Yes. Oh, and I'm the weirdo. You carry a scalpel around in your skirt. We'll call this one a draw. I've been trying to escape that nightmarish version of me. The first time I saw it, I thought I was hallucinating. And then I ran away. I ran into the cellar and I couldn't leave after that. So there is a Nightmare Lilith running around murdering people. Like a nemesis of sorts? Yeah, that's a good way to put it. How wholly unoriginal. Wait a moment. Where did the curse send you? Did you also by chance have to deal with an evil version of yourself? I don't know. Come again? I don't know how to explain it. Those nightmarish hands were all over you, were they not? Yeah, but... Come along, dear, spit it out. They just went away after a while. Went away? Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I got hit by that wave thing, right? But the hands kept me from getting washed away. It's like they just held me in place for a bit and then disappeared. What are you saying? What? Are you saying the curse itself has protected you or something? I don't think that's it. I really don't know. At this point, nothing surprises me anymore. Elise wrings the last of the murky water out of her hair. So, what's next? Do you know where we're going? Oh, right. Lilith frowns as she's about to burst into tears. I lost the globe. The globe? You mean the cursed ward staff? Stave? The amaranth thing. Yeah, the part of the staff thing, it's gone. You're telling me you lost the only way we can escape this awful place. Well, when you put it that way... Please, dear, I implore you to explain how that happened. I don't know. It must have been lost in a big wave or something. Maybe. Maybe the hands grabbed it. All I know is that I don't have it anymore. What are we gonna do? Elise rubs her temples and sighs deeply. I swear to... You're not gonna stab me too, are you? No, dear. I still need you. For now. That for now part makes me really uncomfortable. Relax, dear. Let's weigh our options. If it's not here, then it must be somewhere in this mansion, along with the other pieces. Yeah, you're probably right. We have to try. Wonderful. Now, any ideas on where to start? Well, I found some paper downstairs a while back, and I made a map of the place. What did you use for ink down there? I don't want to talk about it. This map smells. I don't want to talk about it. Just tell me you didn't use... It's mud, okay? I've been sitting there for years and I haven't taken a bath in a long time, okay? Wait, what did you think I used? Nothing. Carry on, darling.
I wonder what other brown substance that has a pungent odor to it would be.
Anyway, there's a few wings in this house. This is my house, dear, I know that. Also, since we're on the topic, when you're cursed, do you still have bodily functions? This is not the time to discuss that. I'm just... Fine, I'm going to ask you later, though. Anyway, there are 3 wings we can access from here, not including this one. Emmy was in the library, you already met her. Last I remember, my friend Rose was in the music hall. Cassia's in the garden. She always loved the flowers there. Haruka was eating something in the dining room last I saw her. She didn't seem terribly concerned about the whole curse thing back then. Luna's upstairs, but I don't want to go up there yet. Not until we make sure the others are okay. Any questions? I have a great many questions, dear. No, any questions about the map? No. So, Elise, where should we go?
We can choose. Okay, so Rose was in the dining hall. Or the music hall, sorry. Cassia was in the garden, I think. And Lilith was he? No, not Lilith. I'm just fucking what we're talking about. I forget the last girl's name. It's like I think it might have been Haruka. Oh yeah, no. Oh, it says right on the bottom there. I'm fucking stupid. So yeah, Rose, Cassia, and Haruka, and then upstairs, is where we're gonna find the last one. Well, let's make our way left to right, I guess. Music hall.
Let's meet your friend Rose. Wait, your friend Rose is not the one in the garden. You think she'd be around plants just because her name is Rose? What do you think this is, a game or something? Never mind, let's just move on. She's a lot like me. I'm sure you'll love her. Yes, I'm sure I will.
Yay, another Lilith. So I wonder if if that's gonna kind of be the pattern of the game. We go into a room, meet the new person, and then get trapped in there, find a way out, kind of deal. Excuse me. The mansion's music hall is the most ornate in the entire household. Gold lanterns hang from the textured ceiling, coordinating with deep crimson curtains to create a warm, luxurious aura. At least, that's how Elise remembered it. In this corrupted mansion, age has tarnished and clouded the metal surfaces, and the once spotless curtains now hang tattered and stained. A grand piano sits near the bay window, nearly as pristine as the day it was bought.
The family piano. Never learned how to play it, but it really ties the room together. Rose, are you there? I don't see anyone in this room at all. Maybe she found a way out. I feel like she would have come for the rest of us. What do these cabinets hold anyway? Boo! Aye! You're rude. You scared the hell out of me. I got you good, didn't I? I'm more upset that I didn't get the chance to do that to you. Oh, okay, let's try it again. You sit in the cabinet this time. Okay. Lilith crawls inside the cabinet as Rose leans against the doors, preventing Lilith from popping out. Wow, it's dark in here. Hey, let me out!
Rose snickers like a mischievous child. Lilith tumbles out of the cabinet face first, landing on the exotic carpet with a solid thud.
Rose! I got you twice now. You're so rude. How can you treat me like this?
Lilith pulls on Rose's hair as she wails in pain.
Stop it! I'm sorry. You two. How long were you waiting for me in that cabinet?
Rose sticks her lower lip out, putting on her saddest puppy dog impression.
I waited all this time for you, but you never came. Oh my goodness, really? Now I feel so bad. Just kidding. I just hopped in when I heard the door open. That hurts. I'm sorry. Anyway, this is Elise. Charmed. Hi, I'm Rose. Nice to meet you. So, Rose, what have you been doing all this time that we have been stuck in here? Oh, I learned to play the piano, the guitar, the oboe, the clarinet. You're like a one-woman band. Play something for me. Oh, I forgot how to play most of them already. What? How? That was a long time ago. What have you been doing recently, then? Looking at old pictures of us. I won't be fooled this time with your sob story. But I mean it this time. I miss us, Lily. Aw, I miss us too.
Elise slaps her forehead and sighs.
Something about silver-haired women just makes life so difficult.
Rose walks over to the coffee table, pointing out a well-worn leather-bound album.
Luna's photo album? I haven't seen this photo in forever. How many of you were there again? 7. Weren't we so cute? Back when my hair was clean. Yeah, you stink. Where have you been? I don't want to talk about it. You were all classmates. Yep, class of 83. Huh. Your hair is much smaller than I expected for someone from the 80s. I don't know. Lily's hair is pretty big. That's a good thing, right? Guys, let's move on. We all came here on vacation. One last hurrah before we all went our own way. Maybe that's the bright side of all this. We never had to lose each other, right? I, for one, would like to know more about your circumstances. How did this all begin?
Rose looks over at a small end table near the window, her puppy-like demeanor evaporating as she stares out at the foreboding darkness outside.
Things started out great. The girls trip into a mansion for all our friends. What's not to love? The last day of school, we didn't even go home to change. We were so excited. Drove straight here.
She walks towards the grand piano, resting her hand on the ivory keys.
Then, well, don't keep me in suspense, dear. The Curse of Midnight, that's what Emmy called it back then, right? At first I didn't believe it. I thought these kinds of things weren't real. But all I know is that I couldn't sleep. Every night, those horrible, horrible nightmares. With each night, they just became more real, more vivid, more terrifying. I tried to run back then. I was gonna come back, bring help, really, I was. But when I got out of the house, into that massive forest, I just found myself here again. That was it for me. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I could barely even speak. It's as if my entire spirit had been drained. Poor Rose could barely move the last few days. Next thing I knew, I couldn't even get out of this room. It seems like it was the same for everyone else, too. I've been waiting a long time, hoping someone would come find me. There are times I wanted to give up.
Rose taps the golden bell hanging from her dress.
Lilith gave us these bells back then. As long as we could hear them jingling, we knew that this wasn't another dream or a nightmare, that her friends were nearby. Because of that, I knew that they were always here with me. I owed it to them to keep fighting, right?
Her somber demeanor disappears as she hops back to attention, a wide toothy grin on her face.
Well, it's all fine now. Sounds like you guys have a plan to get us out of here, right? Yes, a plan. You guys did what to Emmy?
Rose grabs a clarinet from a nearby cabinet upon hearing of Elise's attempted human sacrifice.
You're not gonna kill me too, are you? What are you gonna do? Stab me with an oboe? It's not an oboe, it's a... No, Rose, it wasn't a real human sacrifice. It was all planned, sorta. Anyway, we need to activate the curse in this room. Simple as that. You said you have a spell, right? Why can't you just use that now? We need a piece of the amaranth to make it work. You wouldn't happen to have one, would you? Amaranth? Like the flower? I don't think so. At the very least, if we get the curse angry, we can get out of this room. Well, there's not much in here we can do. I could play a song with one of those instruments. You think it'll like jazz? Well, usually we've been resorting to more chaotic methods. We could break a window. One of us tried that. Who? Well, dear, there's a reason they're not here. Oh, yeesh. Well, if we ever got out of here, at least I'll have friends now. It's been lonely. Tell me, though, what's it like out there? The rest of the mansion? The rest of the world?
Lilith looks at Elise.
Well, Elise, what's it like?
It's hell out there. Same as always, probably. The world is beautiful. I mean, these people are from the 80s. A lot has changed since the 80s. Although I would like to point out, I love that despite the fact that they're from the 80s. And I mean, they're early 80s as well. They said 83 or something like that, I think. It might have been 87, I forget. But despite that, they're very fucking stylish. Like, the world is beautiful.
It's a beautiful world out there. Really? Yeah, really? There's still quite a lot that can be improved, but things are getting better. Ah, that's wonderful. Rose plops onto the couch, looking back at the leather-bound photo album. Do we have a camera in here? Maybe we can at least make some new memories. She flips through the photo album once again. Remember when Alice broke her hand? Yeah. She lost her mind. We had to take notes for her, write stuff in her planners. Never realized how much that girl wrote in those books until we had to do it for her. She did look really silly with that cast on, didn't she? Lilith, who's Alice? You haven't met her yet? You're gonna love her. She was always like the mom of our group. Well, Lily was like our second mom, but Alice is the one who always planned stuff and took care of things like that. She really did always have a plan, didn't she? Rose picks out a photo of the album, looking upon it fondly. Remember when we all went to the beach together? Oh, that was a good trip. Much better than this one has been. You remember when... Wait a minute. This one is weird. Why is Amy missing from this photo? What do you say? Rose tosses the photo onto the table. It's a picture of Rose, Lilith, and what is allegedly Amelia, replaced by a black splotch. Is this picture dirty? That must be it. She picks it up, licking her finger before rubbing it on the photo. Ew, what did I just lick? I think your finger is dirtier than any of the photos at this point. Rose furrows her brow as she flips through the album, picking up the pace with each passing page. That's weird. She's not in any of these photos. I swear she used to be. As Rose continues to flip through the pages of the album, Lilith notices the page begin to bleed as if coated in oil, slowly dripping as each page turns. Rose! Oblivious to the mutated pages, Rose frantically flips through the album, searching for any hint of her lost friend as the murky substance runs down her bare legs. Rose! She looks back up at Lilith. What is it? The photo album melts into black ooze, falling through Rose's hands as she screams in terror. Our pictures! The ooze seeps through the floor, disappearing without a trace as Rose falls to the ground, grabbing and clawing at the carpet in an attempt to recover it. Rose! Lilith rushes over to Rose, attempting to console her as she screams in disbelief. Give it back! Those memories are all I have left! She pounds the floor in vain. Rose, it's okay. How is it okay? I'm sick of all this. I just want to see everyone else again. I want to laugh and be together and I want to make new memories instead of just wishing for my old ones. An eyeball suddenly sprouts from the painting above the fireplace. Uh-oh. The eye's pupil dilates and expands, growing to the size of a larger dinner plate. This looks bad. Expecting some sort of deadly assault, inside the eye's massive pupil is an image of Amelia, smiling and laughing merrily as she did in Rose's photos. Amelia disappears from the eye, replaced with images of Lilith and the other girls in the photo album. Cass, Harika, everyone's there. The eye's illusions continue, this time with Amelia returning to center stage, waving at Rose and extending her hand. Rose stands to her feet and stares into the nightmarish projection. That's not real, is it? Of course it's not real. I'm Miss Holman, I'm right here. An image of Lilith appears alongside the projection of Amelia, as a replicated Lilith also extends her hand towards Rose. Behind them, a warm summer day appears as they bask in the shade of a lush green forest. She shambles towards the illusions, extending her hand towards them while nearly falling forward with each step. Rose, what are you doing? Stop! We can all be together again. Rose! Lilith attempts to restrain Rose, managing to slow her pace to a crawl. Rose remains focused on the illusions before her, totally entranced by the nightmare on the wall. Your friends! Those aren't your real friends! I'm right here! Her efforts fall on deaf ears as Rose nears the creeping presence of the cursed eye on the wall, pulsating and increasing in size with every step she takes. Elise, help me! How?
Physically restrain Rose, plead with her, or taunt her. I don't know. Let's save real quick. I do know that if anybody dies, it'll automatically throw us back here, but... let's plead with her.
Rose, dear, you have friends waiting for you. A family, even. Rose stops in her tracks upon mention of her family. That's right. Don't you miss your mom and dad? Your brother. You've got to be a good sister to him, big sister to him too, right? I do, even though he's a brat. I believe it's working. The cursed eye shudders and twitches as if frustrated by Lilith and Elise's efforts. The eye closes, reopening with a new illusion. This one is different from the others. A woman with long brown hair appears in the eye's reflection. Rose, what have you been doing in that room for so long? We've been waiting for you. Alice. The woman, whose expression exudes a calm demeanor, emerges from the painting, extending her open hand towards Rose. It's been so long since we were together. I'm getting lonely too, you know. Initially speechless, Rose slowly reaches her hand out towards Alice. She takes a step forward, then another. Her eyes filling with tears, Rose runs towards the illusion. The eye's shadow expands in a dark embrace as Rose runs to it, the vision of Alice emitting a sun-gained glow as her hair begins to rise in serpentine tendrils. Before Rose can react, the illusion grabs her by the hand, enveloping her body and receding back into the wall. Gone as quickly as it came, it's as if Rose never existed at all. Lilith falls to her knees in disbelief. What just happened? Lilith. Elise kneels down next to Lilith, resting her hand on her shoulder as her tears well in Lilith's eyes. But Rose... We did what we could. How are we gonna get her back? There must be a way, right? Lilith stares blankly ahead, tears rolling down her face. The amaranth. Lilith looks up at Elise. The amaranth? If we can end this curse, I'd wager you that your friends will be freed from this nightmare. Same with my brother. And Rose. Lilith sniffles as she tugs on Elise's skirt. You sure? Like, 100% sure? I can't say for certain, but we have to. Believe in it, right? Lilith wipes her tears away. Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, I'm kind of curious what would have happened if we chose any of the other options. Let's try physically restraining her. Elise runs over to Lilith, trying to hold Rose back. Their combined strength is enough to stop her advance. Let me go! I want to be with everyone else again! Rose, it's all a mirage. It's not real. Rose cries in anguish as she attempts to shake off Elise and Lilith's restraints. Black liquid begins to drip from the cursed eye like impure tears as it begins to emit a low-pitched wail. Lilith. Fully focused on keeping Rose restrained, Lilith is blissfully unaware of the danger before her. The eye continues to ooze an ominous dark smog leaks out of the eye's tear duct. Elise, Lilith, and Rose run towards the door, their vision obscured by the darkness settling before them. Lost in the blinding smoke, they've lost any means of escape. And we die, I guess. Yep, okay. So we die there. Taunt her. Well, go on then. You'll be missing out on all the wonderful things we have in our world. You lot didn't even have the internet back then, didn't you? Heaven forbid. Rose slows her pace, furrowing her brow and turning her head towards Elise. Lilith, sensing that this unorthodox strategy is working, plays along. Yeah, Rose, they probably have way cooler video games now. Don't you want to try them? That's ridiculous. E.T.'s the best video game of all time. How could they top that? Oh, you poor, poor child. No, dear, we have virtual reality and phone games now. Phone games? Yes, dear, cell phones. Look. Elise pulls out her cell phone, long since dead, but still a technological marvel to someone from 4 decades past. That's a phone? It's so thin. Yes, dear, isn't it wonderful? It has its own screen, you know, like a TV does. Really? Really, really? You're not just trying to trick me, right? The cursed eye on the wall makes a peculiar wailing sound, as if personally disappointed in Rose's short attention span. Okay, is he gonna do the same thing? Okay, dark-haired girl. And then she... Oh, wait, no. She tackles her. Please, if you have to take one of us, take me instead. She kneels before the cursed eye, offering no resistance. Lilith, what in the world are you doing? I just want to save her, whatever it takes. Eagerly accepting this gift, Alice's miasma expands all along the wall. Excuse me, Jesus Christ, all along the walls, casting a growing net of darkness. Rose breaks free of the trance with a confused look on her face, shaking her head in disbelief. What in the... Lily! She runs over to Lilith, grabbing her by the arm as black liquid begins to drip from the cursed eye. Rose, nobody's dying today, okay? The two of them run from the eye as an ominous smog leaks from the tear duct. Now would be a wonderful time for the curse-stopping spell if we had it. No, baby, you and I. Yes, almost there, dear, but not quite. The three stand back to back as a swirling dark cloud surrounds them. Well, any ideas? This might be it for us. Rose and Lilith hold hands for potentially the last time as the smoke envelops them. I think we're gonna get out of this one. Wait a minute. This is just regular smoke, not killer smoke. The smoke dissipates as the eye recedes into the wall, disappearing without a trace. Absolutely perplexing. I thought we were done for. Why did that happen? The curse was literally just blowing smoke at us. Rose strokes her chin in contemplation before her mouth falls open, clearly experiencing her eureka moment. You said the curse gets tired easily, right? It might have spent most of its energy imitating the others, and the smoke was just a feint. I think the curse is weakened, like something's limiting its power. A lovely idea, dear, but what makes you say that? It makes sense. The curse is definitely capable of killing us at full strength. The question is why it doesn't just do that all the time. Something must be stopping it. Either it's just naturally this weak, or I don't know. In any case, we gotta get you out of here. It's too dangerous. Oh, but I'm having such a fun time with you guys. Maybe you can teach me how to play this weird oboe-looking thing. It's the only instrument I haven't figured out yet. She pulls a long, dark wooden rod out of a nearby cabinet containing clarinets, bassoons, and other instruments. Is that? The amaranth! That must be the handle! Amaranth? I thought these were woodwinds. Elise takes the handle from Rose's hands. Anyway, Rose, you gotta go. It's not safe here. No. No buts. You're going home. Right, on incantation. Lilith pulls out Amelia's notebook, flipping to the transport spell. She begins to recite the words as the piece of the amaranth floats in the air. Rose exclaims in surprise as her body begins to levitate, glowing brightly. Since when can you do that? Since about an hour ago. See you at home. You're gonna save the others, right? Of course we are. Just you wait. I can't wait to go home and see how Star Wars ends. Yes. Ends. And poof, she's gone. After a blinding flash, Rose disappears. The inert handle of the amaranth falls to the ground. Alright, we're going to go ahead and stop it right there. Save, new save, main menu. Okay, so a couple more things. So kind of what it seems like right now, it seems that our character is just gone. Just straight up fucking gone. So I don't think we're going to be seeing any more of the original MC from the first Angel Wings game. And so yeah, I mean, it looks like that's kind of going to be the pattern here, where we enter these rooms, meet a girl, try and keep them alive, find a piece of the amaranth, and then send them back. That's definitely going to be the pattern here. So with Amelia, we had the orb. With Rose, we have the actual like staff part of it. Then we have Cassia, Haruka, and then presumably Alice, who's on the second floor. And by the time we get to Alice, we will have gotten all 4 of the pieces, because I think there's 4 pieces to it. Something maybe there's 5, but you get my drift. Yeah. As for the whole like eye leaking smoke thing, it's kind of interesting because in one of the bits, because obviously you have, Lilith, Rose gets taken by the eye painting, and then presumably will have ended up finding the rod anyway and rescue her later. But then in that other ending, or that other route, we held Rose back, I believe. The eye got angry, leaked a bunch of smog, and then killed us. So I don't know why in this route it's all of a sudden weakened or something. I don't know what's going on with that. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, we've kind of got a clear set pattern here. I do still kind of feel like there are a lot of kind of bits and pieces that kind of feel a little bit awkwardly paced, which, in certain, I guess the best way to put it is like this. There are a couple of moments where I feel like the conversations transition very awkwardly and unnaturally. Just in case, and sometimes it's something as simple as I feel like there should have been like maybe a little bit of time passed, and it just didn't really translate that fact very well. Or it's kind of one of those things like, when you're watching an anime, for example, where it'll kind of like cut, because let me get my shit together, but it's kind of like in anime where when they're having a conversation, it'll cut into like a chibi version of the characters, and it's kind of like in that moment you're gonna get like a punchline or a straight man joke or something like that.
That's kind of what it feels like the dialogue is trying to do in some of these cases, and it's just not translating very well. While on the other hand, there are times where, you know, it does translate well. So it's just a little bit of kind of, I feel like maybe the story is, the team is maybe stepping into some new territory in terms of dialogue and just, you know, how they're writing these characters and how they're writing these interactions in this specific scenario. But I mean, other than that, it's I'm enjoying it so far. So that's going to be it for me for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video and tell me in the comment section below what you'd like to see me play next. If you enjoyed this video or any other videos or series on my channel, then I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when one of those videos comes out. Anyways, that's it for me, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!